Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Salon Scoop podcast. We have a green edition going on today, as you can see from my fun background. We're talking salon sustainability today with 3 salons that are leaders when it comes to reducing their impact on the environment. We're going to get the scoop on different insights, best practices on not only what these salons do from a sustainability standpoint, but also how they use that to their competitive advantage to be attracting more clients to their salons as a result. When we talk about sustainability and the importance in the industry, there's a statistic put out by Green Circle Salons that shares that the beauty industry in North America is sending 877 pounds of waste to landfill every single minute.
Wow.
And it's really scary when we start to think about that and do the math, because if it's 877 pounds per minute, that's over 1 million pounds per day that our entire industry is sending to landfill. I mean, it kind of makes sense. There's over 250,000, salons in North America. So there's a ton of waste being generated. And that's not the only impact. I mean, salons also use a lot of energy. When you think about the strong lighting that has to be used, think about blow dryers, other hot tools, as well as the constant use of, washer and dryer that goes on. So today's conversation is a very, very important one. And again, not just to talk about how salons can take simple steps to reduce their impact, but also how being more environmentally friendly can actually help a salon save money and grow your business at the same time. All right. We're obviously super interested in that from a marketing standpoint always. I'm so excited to have these 3 salon leaders with us today. Can't wait to get into this important discussion. So let's start by introducing today's panel. These 3 salon owners are definitely industry role models, and I'm so grateful to have each of you on the show with me today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you maybe just take a quick moment to introduce yourselves to our audience?
Yes, I am Melissa Parker. I co-own Sister Salon and Apothecary in La Mesa, California, which is just outside of San Diego. We will celebrate 13 years of business in this October, and we currently have 8 team members. I am proud to say that we are the first zero waste salon and that we've been able to reduce our waste by 99%. And I am so grateful to be invited to this sustainable conversation. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing.
Amazing. And my name is Sal. I'm the owner of Novo Arch Salon in the Arts District of Los Angeles. And we have been open in business for 5 years now. And we have a team of about 12 stylists and a complete staff of between 20 people or so. And from the beginning, we've been really, really, really excited to when we learn about Green Circle Salons and to be part of it from the get-go. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Amazing.
I'm Sarah. Nice to meet all of you. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this conversation. I co-own a salon in Keswick, Ontario. We've been open for almost 2 years. I've been in the industry for about 14 years. We have 7 staff members at our salon, 4 stylists, including myself. And we're currently, my business partner and I, Caitlin, are touring North America right now, teaching one of our wrap highlighting methods that we use, these wrap highlighting sheets that are plastic. So that kind of ties into, why we really feel like committing to be a sustainable salon as well.
Amazing. Super. Well, thanks all for being here. Again, let's just jump right into this. I'm very passionate about the environment myself, and full disclosure, I am a part owner of Green Circle Salons because I believe in it so much, but we are not here to promote any particular company, rather just to talk about the issues, practices of being more sustainable in our industry. So let's start big picture and find out why being sustainable is important to you personally, right, as salon owners, and what the trigger was for you to set up some sustainability goals for your salon company. Maybe Sal, will start this off with you.
You got it. Well, I think for me, I grew up in Mexico, in a ranch. So in the rural part of Mexico, not even in the city. So I've always been very, very much in touch with nature and been very aware of how things in areas where people say are around animals or crops or farms, have a different mindset when it comes to like not being wasteful. You know, even like using everything that comes from a plant, using everything that comes from an animal, and just being kind of like really in touch with the indigenous roots of Mexico has really have a deep impact in who I am today. So obviously, I wanted to, not obviously, but I wanted to get to the top of being a hairstylist. And so I got to be able to work in top salons in LA, across the country. And it's really interesting how in places like this in big cities, you know, the focus is to really be be like a big star, you know, and it doesn't matter who you step over or where you step over, you know, the whole goal is to like be really big, make money, be famous. And through
Hollywood.
Hollywood and through really experiencing that, you know, it didn't really sit well with me. So I took it upon myself to have a place one day to inspire and do the different, you know, and perhaps with the little bit of influence that we have, or I thought we had at the time, make a bigger impact. So 5 years now down the line, it's really cool to see where we are now and how other people just from seeing what we do, even like the shirts that we wear or the things that we post on social media, little by little, it starts becoming part of the general culture, you know.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah, it's got to be tricky, like you said, in LA, because that's, probably not, not the biggest focus there per se, but it all has to start somewhere, right? So congratulations for sort of being a leader there. Let's say, Sarah, what about you? Why is it so important in your world, and what was the trigger for your salon? You just started 2 years ago, right? So
Yeah, so it actually is interesting because at my previous salon where I built most of my career, we didn't have anything in place. We did our best to recycle and do our best to not waste when we could. But it wasn't until we opened up our new space and our new salon that I realized how much we were actually putting in the trash. And there's actually no recycling pickup at our salon building at all. So we were actually taking home bags and bags of recycling for the longest time,
Wow.
just to try and
just
keep
the
it out of the
basics, you mean,
dumpster.
like papers and
Just the
plastics, right?
basics.
Yeah.
Yes. And so when we heard of Green Circle, initially I was a little worried because I assumed it was going to be really expensive. Usually anything sustainable is. So it was a new business and we're like, I don't know if we can do this. And so we reached out and yeah, we realized that it was something that we totally could do. And we've been doing it ever since.
Cool. Melissa, what was the trigger for you? You said you've had your salon for 13 years. You probably didn't start 13 years ago. I don't know, maybe you did, but tell us.
Yeah, we didn't. We opened, we were very eco-minded when we had opened. I relate with, we took our recycle home for 13 years. We literally just got a recycle bin that we've been asking our landlord for. So my heart goes out to you. I appreciate that. Honestly, like my big picture is my girls. I have two daughters and it makes me think of their future and what it's going to look like. And I take being a mama real seriously as much as I take being a business owner, and I want the world to look good for them. And, we had realized, my business partner and I, like the responsibility of waste had been put onto the consumer a few years back. And we feel like that responsibility should be ours as a business and corporation. And, we exist to create sustainable toxin-free beauty practices so that the beauty industry can become more sustainable as a whole.
Love that. It speaks loud and clear on your website, when you first come, and we'll get into some of that later when we talk about sort of, the marketing components as well. But, nobody's doing this because it's a good marketing tactic. We're doing it because it's, there's a personal tie to it. There's a recognition of the importance of it. There just happens to be all these, extra benefits that go along, with being environmentally friendly at the same time. I'm curious to know, sometimes salon employees struggle, when it comes to, the owner implementing, let's say, policies or practices, and the employees sometimes don't know really if it's best for them, best for the owner, best for the company. Did any of you struggle to convince team members, when you had made the decision that your salon was going to be kind of going green and implementing some actual practices? Was that a struggle for any of you?
I think it wasn't too bad. Everyone was kind of on board. But when we kind of showed them what the system was going to look like, everyone was a little overwhelmed with not knowing where everything went. But that didn't take much time to get into routine about that too. We are a very fast-paced salon, so we don't have like a lot of extra time for anything. So that was the main concern. But yeah, it didn't really factor when we started implementing the new procedures, like didn't skip a beat. So it was all good.
There. Melissa or Sal, did you have any resistance from team members?
One of our core values is continuous improvement. So we are constantly changing things and looking for ways to be better. So our team is kind of always on their toes, expecting that from us. And there actually, when we transitioned, it was 5 years ago, and there were some laws that changed based on how we can pay our employees. And so because of that factor more, I think we went from a large team to a smaller team. And then we have been able to kind of build our team based on we already are a zero waste salon. So we didn't really have too many people that we had resistance from. And now all the team members that come on, we just make sure that they're very aware that we're a zero waste salon and we do things a little bit different.
Fair. Okay.
Nice.
Sal, I'm gonna direct this next question to you, but you'll each have a turn to kind of go around. I'd be curious to know sort of what would you say is the biggest thing that you've done in your salon to improve your overall impact, let's say on helping you be more sustainable. If you had to like pinpoint like one major thing that you've done.
Good question. I think it's the overall lead by example. So like what I was saying, like instead of like something I was like thinking of touching on later was like we haven't really made it much of a thing. Like this is what we're doing, guys. Everybody look it up, like check it out. Like I'll go read these things. I mean my manager and myself, we just kind of started doing it ourselves, and then our team followed. And as our team followed, as our assistants followed, as our stylists followed, our assistants followed, as our assistants followed, and our clients have been following. So we just been very almost like build it and they will come kind of thing. Just do your thing, and people will also model that. So we model that and then they follow that. So I think at the core of it all, that's the most important thing that I think I've done for our team.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, the biggest thing from you is really kind of the lead by example. Let's say
Yes.
that's had the biggest impact. What about you, Sarah? What would you say you've done in your business that's had the biggest impact on helping you be more sustainable?
Well, to be honest, like I wasn't very familiar with what my options were. We just knew that we were not okay with the amount of waste that our salon was producing, and we knew we needed to make a change. So reaching out to Green Circle was our lifeline. Like our rep got in touch with us right away, came to our salon, gave us a plan that would work for us. And that was like, that had the biggest impact because we are such a fast-paced salon and we needed something that was easy.
Melissa, same question to you. What's the thing that you've done in your business that you'd say has had the biggest impact to help you be more sustainable?
Yeah, so we were my business partner and I were partnered up with a very big corporate brand when we had originally opened and started, and they're a pretty philanthropic brand. But as we started to shift zero waste, we noticed all the plastic bottles that were leaving our salon. And like I said, we wanted to be responsible for that waste. And we wanted to find a way to refill products and have a refill station. And what we were looking for didn't exist. And so we created Element Refillable Beauty. It's the first professional zero waste toxin free hair product that is refillable and still performs as a professional product. And so that, I think, has certainly been a major way that has reduced our waste. People can come in and they can purchase glass or aluminum bottles and then come and refill them as necessary and as they need them. Element's desire is for the consumer to not have to sacrifice beauty, or the salon stylist shouldn't have to sacrifice how they can perform behind the chair. It should be made an easy choice.
Cool, very nice. Oh, I love that. Three very unique answers and different things. I know that all of you are using Green Circle for the actual sort of waste collection and whatnot. And one thing that I'm curious to know, and because everybody does ask this question, is how does your business afford the Green Circle service? How is that sort of built in? And maybe Sarah, you can kick us off on this one.
Yeah, we were advised by our Green Circle rep how with a couple different options, but we chose to come up with an average amount of guests that come through our salon for services, and we came up with an eco fee, and that seemed to work great for us.
Do you have an eco fee that's added on to the final bill essentially after services?
Yes. So there's a $2 eco fee on everyone's bill at the end of the service.
Fair enough. Okay. And Sal?
Yeah, same way. We also added an eco fee on our clients ticket.
Okay, fair enough. And Melissa?
We chose to not do the eco fee. At the time, it just felt like there was like the COVID fee, and it just felt like a lot of fees were going on. So we just kind of built it into our haircutting price, and we only send out like 3 or 4 boxes a year. And so our price for that is a bit less. And some of the other zero waste practices that we do help us like cut costs in other ways. And so we just didn't feel like we needed to do that.
Nice. Yeah, that's fair. I think it's important to kind of understand all the different options. And it sounds like you've sort of built it into your pricing as opposed to sort of having it as a separate line item. But I do want to talk about this a little bit, this eco fee, because, many salons have a difficult time with any kind of price increase, right? Just increasing our service prices in the industry is always a struggle. And, those listening out there, I'm sure that you feel this. There's always an excuse not to increase prices. Currently, one of those excuses is, inflation has been so high and prices have been, going up on everything around us that, we don't want to make consumers, have to swallow another price increase. So for at least, the 2 salons here, Sarah and Sal, what was your experience like when you introduced that cost to the clients, and how did that go over? How did you do that?
It actually turned out pretty well, because we kind of like, similar to Melissa, we considered going that route, but what we took into our advantage was, again, being in LA, like we're at the top of setting trends per se, like hair wise, right? If you do a haircut and everybody else wants that haircut, so we thought, well, let's make it trendy let's make this conscious decision a trendy thing for our clients, so adding it to the bill created this sense of like, oh yes, I am part of this and I am making a difference. Sure enough, I'll pay this eco fee, and sooner than later, like people, that's how a lot of our clients ended up finding out that we were doing, or we were being part of a Green Circle zero waste salon, by adding it to the fee, and then realizing like, oh yeah, just like the same way that tipping has been included into some tickets. Like this is also part of that.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Same with us. We do pushback actually for many clients adding it on. We didn't even email anyone or post about it. We just kind of threw it on there, and then we had a sign at the front desk that kind of explained that we are now a Green Circle salon, and what that means. And yeah, we've had clients like really love to hear about that and are happy to pay the $2 price, and some even willing to offer more if needed.
Nice. Same here.
Amazing. Yeah, it's nice to see that, and that's, always, I think, a fear that everybody sort of has, like, what's the reaction going to be? And sometimes when we actually go ahead and do it, we realize that most of that fear was just in our own heads, and it's not actually reality out there. So appreciate you sharing some of those insights. Let's talk about, you talked about your main thing that you felt has had the biggest impact on reducing, your environmental footprint. Let's just talk about some of the other things that maybe you're doing in your business since becoming, green or a sustainable salon, that are lowering your overall environmental footprint. Any other sort of best practices, things that you can share from your salon that others out there might be able to learn from? Melissa, let's start with you this time.
Okay. Yeah, we recently actually got green business certified through California, which we had to meet a bunch of criteria to be able to get that certification. We are carbon negative in the energy that we produce. We just started to partner with 1% for the planet. And then in the sanctuary in our washroom, we use the EcoHead that reduced 60% of water usage, the nozzles.
Very cool. Lots of great things. Just super quickly, how do you measure being carbon negative? How does that get measured?
Good question.
So where we get our energy from, we pay a bit more, a sort of eco fee, as you would say, and paying that fee, they offset the energy that we use through good works. They measure it for us.
Got it. They measure the energy that you're using because they're your energy supplier, and then there's
an offset
that goes with it.
Yes.
Very cool. Okay. Who else next? Sal, do you want to talk about some of the other initiatives that you guys do that kind of help you lower your overall impact?
Yeah, I think kind of like I was saying, like when we took off opening the salon right at the beginning, we were already part of Green Circle Salon. So everything that we've done, everything that our clients have known is this. And as we have advanced, we have, for example, right now we're working on eliminating any heavily toxic product out there, working on like minimizing our packaging, what else can I say? Eco heads, we carry eco heads as well. We encourage all of our team to I don't know, like clean after themselves as much as necessary. So like to eliminate like the outsourcing of bringing other people to do maintenance in certain things. What else can I say? Oh, I feel that it's been five years now. We just keep adding more and more plants to the actual salon environment. And I want to say that our AC has been mostly not working at full capacity anymore, because just like overall freshness inside the salon has been pretty awesome. Yeah, those are some of the things I can think of.
I love that. That's actually super creative. Most people don't think about little details like that, right? But there's so many different things that we can all be doing. And sometimes it's so easy to say, oh, you know what, like I'm just one person, or we're just like one business, and you know what, we're not going to make the impact that's going to, save the planet. It's not about that, but it's about doing little things that, have an impact, but at the same time, there's so many other benefits. Like just having green plants around. Okay,
Yes.
yes, it's helping to, reduce the amount of AC, but it actually probably just enhances the overall, atmosphere and environment. People probably just enjoy it better. It just feels
Yes.
nicer. It's the air is a little bit fresher. So there's benefits that go beyond just the I'm doing something good for the environment here. I think those are always really interesting to see. Sarah, do you have any other sort of things that you can sort of share that that people could learn from?
Yeah, this one is a hard one. Like, I can't think of anything huge and significant, but like little things like our light bulbs and our water, saver faucets, and even buying our lightener in like bulk pouches and refilling our containers, like little things like that is really all I can think about. And personally taking home the big recycling that we can't fit in our green circle box.
Yeah, and
That's right.
so I think this is great. That kind of tags on a little bit. It's not always about like you have to do like the big thing. Sometimes it's those just little actions. Buying things in bulk as opposed to buying it smaller on a regular basis. All those little actions actually help make the big difference. And if we're all just taking little actions, I think it's easier to just take little actions as opposed to sometimes we say, oh, it's a lot of effort to do like the big things, but sometimes just those little details, switching out those light bulbs to to LEDs, all help make an impact. Have you
I actually thought of something else too. We actually
reuse
we reuse our packing peanuts. I don't know if anyone else does that too.
Oh, nice.
Because
yes.
yeah, we ship out a lot of online orders, and packing peanuts are the worst. But we just like every time we get them, because we're always doing orders, we just keep collecting them in a big bag and we just reuse them for our shipping needs. It's great.
Amazing.
Very
I love
nice.
that. We can always remember the 3 R's, when it comes to
Reduce, reuse,
the
recycle.
environment. Exactly, right? It's reduce, right? Secondly is reuse, and then it's recycle. A lot of people just sort of jump to recycle. It's like, oh, I'm recycling, that's good. But if we can reduce our usage, our consumption, if we can reuse things, multi-purpose, and then recycle the stuff at the end that we can't actually, reuse anymore is fantastic.
My 4-year-old loves saying that. He's great advertising.
You got to train them early, right?
Yeah.
It's all about mindset and just kind of having these things just become sort of natural behaviors. And I think, Sal, what you were talking about earlier about being, leading by example is such a critical component, right? We can never, ask people to do stuff that we're not willing to do ourselves, right?
Yes.
So if we lead by example always, it then just becomes sort of natural that people are going to feel that they should be doing that as well, or that they want to do that as well because they see it happening all around them.
Exactly. I was gonna mention something real quick, like our salon, especially our salon manager and myself, we're big vintage shoppers. So even with you start doing like the green circle salon and everything else around you kind of like takes on that culture as well. So just a fun fact.
Yeah, love that. Okay, let's delve into marketing a little bit. We've shared some best practices, we've shared some ideas, some tips, some different things that each of you are doing. But it's also clear that even if nobody knows about these little details that you're doing, it's obviously still important because it's having a positive impact. But the good news is, and myself having a marketing background and Salon S.O.S being a marketing company, I know how powerful it can be to showcase yourself as a sustainable salon, because more and more consumers are looking for this, right? Consumers want to support businesses in all industries, not just in the salon industry, that are being environmentally responsible. So I'm curious to know, what are some of the things that each of you have done and continue to do in order to promote the fact that you are a sustainable salon? Maybe we can start this one with Sal, and then Sarah, then Melissa.
Yeah, I think for us the big thing has been celebration. So celebrating our achievements. So like I mentioned, like we haven't been huge on promoting the Wear Green Circle Salon. I do want to start shifting towards more of that. It has only been clients come in, then they learn that that's what we do, and then they love us even more, right? But it mainly around Earth Day is when we promote a lot of like our achievements by like, pushing out like a video or a post on like how much diverted waste we achieved. Um, that's realistically about it so far. Oh, and then we throughout the whole month we post that and we print it out and put different around the salon so clients can see that and can celebrate that with us.
Celebrate.
Yeah, we've been trying to utilize our Instagram a little bit more, and our front of house manager, she runs our social media for the salon, which makes it so much easier again because we're fast paced. But we've been getting so much great feedback when we post visual things about the waste that we would have been taking out to the trash, or like the bucket of leftover color that we are packaging up. So like people have been loving watching us just pack up and ship up all of the stuff that's getting shipped back to Green Circle that's not going in the landfill. And that seems, because it's such a visual thing, and that was what was the biggest impact for me wanting to be a part of this, was just to see how much of it there is in such a small salon. So that has been great for spreading the message, and I feel like clients love it, so they must be coming because of that as well. It's a win-win.
Totally. Yeah.
Nice.
And Melissa, you can speak on your end. I know just I mentioned earlier, your website, screams that you are, a sustainable salon. So from the first time that somebody, comes into contact with your website, I know that that's, clearly shows the positioning and branding of your company. What are some of the things that you have been doing from a marketing standpoint?
Yeah, it's a very big piece of our brand, actually. So like when a new guest comes in, every new guest gets a tour of our space where they are explained what zero waste is, how we are zero waste salon, why we're a zero waste salon, and the ways that they can be a part of it. We have a signage that we update every year of our waste stats, like how much waste we've diverted, how much hair, how much color, the energy that we've saved, the water we've saved. We do, of course, Instagram and newsletters. Even just on our front door, we have this big sign that says we're a zero waste salon, and that attracts attention as well. And then this year we've started really focusing on networking within the the sustainability local networks. So we have gone to fairs, we have gone to just little coffee shop meetups, we've gone to big zero waste symposiums, and we're just making a presence there and networking between that space. And that has done some good stuff for us as well.
Amazing. Yeah, I think the key to remember is, as salon owners, you're promoting your salon in different ways, all the time. Everybody was talked about different ways, in salon, when you talk to consumers, through social media, through newsletters, through community events, you're talking about your salon already. So the key is just incorporating, doesn't mean that every single message has to also have the, sustainability message to it, but you have all these outlets that are already out there. So just make sure that you're continually incorporating your sustainability positioning as part of that communication, right? So it just becomes a natural part of your overall branding, right? And people make that natural association because it does make a huge impact when people know. The sad part that I see, way too often is salons are doing really, great work. They've, they are, zero waste salon. They are part of a, recycling program. They're taking great measures, but nobody knows about it. So they're missing a big benefit. Obviously the environment and the planet is benefiting, and that's, the number one. But as a business, you're missing out if you're not actually preaching, about what you're doing, because it's such a really great thing. And it actually helps to be a huge competitive advantage versus other salons out there that are not doing this. And as I promise you that consumers every single day, more and more and more, are environmentally conscious and making decisions, and they make those decisions with their dollars, right? Consumers make decisions with their dollars about who they're going to support. And it goes across, again, all industries. And this is only something that, continues to grow. So make sure that you're factoring in all those different components of communication and, ensuring that you're talking about your sustainability initiatives, as part of that on a regular basis. Is there any way I'd like to talk about measurement also, right? So it's one thing to say, okay, we're going to talk about the fact that we're green and we're going to communicate it in our social media and in our newsletters and in our salon. Have any of you been able to have any kind of measurement or hearing, feedback from clients that say, what, they're coming to you because of the fact that you're a sustainable salon? Is there a way for you to sort of gauge that feedback?
We do. So if you're a first-time guest and you're looking at our website and you would like to make an appointment, we have an intake form. And on the intake form, we ask how they heard about us. And then while we're giving them their tour, we ask if they're familiar with the zero waste movement or sustainability. And 75% of our new guests are because we are a sustainable space.
75%. Wow,
It's a large part.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We don't necessarily have any way to measure that besides like what we hear from our clients. But honestly, even like doing the podcast today, hearing you guys, it's very inspiring, and that's a big reason why I wanted to do it, because we have not been. It wasn't about making it a thing from the beginning. It was just more about what we believed and act upon it. But having agreed to this podcast even was a way for me to educate myself further, get inspired as to like how be more vocal in general with my clients and the rest of people really that are on social media following us for other reasons, so that we can bring them into these conversations and be more of a thing. Even the fact that I'm now met you guys, I'm like, oh my goodness, I know how I'm gonna have on speed dial and talk to and learn from realistically, because it's not a whole lot that I feel like we've done, and I think we can do way more.
I agree. I feel inspired too, talking with other like-minded business owners and stylists that take this seriously. And I feel like we don't have anywhere to really measure it either. We are constantly growing and we are constantly getting great feedback on our sustainable practices. And I just take that as a win right there. But I do feel, I lost what I was going to say, actually. I can't remember, but I do feel like it's good to communicate it and share it with other salons, because it's something that, just because we're doing, it's something that they can easily do as well.
Yeah. And I think it's great for all salons to have some kind of intake form. When you have a new customer coming to you for the first time, it's great to find out, how they found out about you, how they heard about you, right? Like, was it a referral from a friend? Was it them, doing a search on the internet? Was it through a social media? Like, that's just valuable information for you all, as business owners, out there listening, to be aware of, because then it allows you to channel more energy into certain areas. And then also, one is how they found you, but then what was the actual thing that triggered them to decide, right, to come see you? And that could be all sorts of things. Could be because you were an environmentally friendly salon. It could be because, they just liked the vibe and the feel that they got from your salon look. It could be because of some of the work that they saw and they felt that it was like, trendy, and that's what they were looking for. All those things, though, are important for you, as salon professionals out there to be cognizant of. So that's definitely something that I would recommend all salons are asking, new customers coming through the doors. I love the inspiration talk here, and I figure it's a great way for us to kind of wrap up our podcast today, is by sort of maybe sharing some inspiration out there to other salon professionals listening to this podcast today. So let's maybe take it from the top. If you had one message to share about why a salon professional should take sustainability seriously in our industry, right, and what they can do about it, what would your message to them be? And let's go reverse order from last time. So Sarah, Sal, and Melissa to finish off.
So I would say, like, simply exactly my own personal experience was I was intimidated by not knowing what to do, not knowing how much it was going to cost. And, when Green Circle came along and really made it super easy and simple and a realistic, for our company to continue to do, that is kind of what set us on this course. So I would like to share that with any other salon owner, or even if you aren't the owner, even if you are an employee at a salon, even mentioning it to the other staff, and encouraging them to possibly look into it. I feel like just that little gentle nudge sometimes is enough to change some minds as well.
Yeah, great. I've heard that happening a lot, actually, where it's actually the staff that feels that this is important, and they've brought it to the owner saying, hey, we need to be more responsible when it comes to the environment. And that's triggered, the owner to start thinking about it and making some decisions for their business.
Mm-hmm.
Sal, what would your message be to salon professionals out there about why they should take this seriously and what they can do about it?
I would say because we're in a world that we share with a lot of other people, like Melissa was saying, big catalyst has been my child as well, and like realizing that once I pass on, what is my legacy, and like I don't think my legacy is just being a cool guy that does good hair. I want it to be a lot more than that. Our ethos for our salon is transformation, sustainability, and community, and now more than ever those words resonate even louder within myself. And I think that, like today, right, we're building community. As more people listen to the podcast, hopefully we inspire them and we infect them in the right way to wake them up, shake them up, and like wanna realize that there's already a lot of information, other people that are already like-minded, already doing the thing. Like I have been one to, if it doesn't exist, I want to create it. And so when we're looking out for Green Circle Salon, when we're looking out to do something like this, Green Circle Salon was already a thing. So investigate, research, and go out there, because more than anything, the help, it's already out there and the resources already exist. Yeah.
Nice.
So the beauty industry is the number 3 largest contributor to waste, and we are the beauty industry. We're designed to we want to make people feel beautiful, and why not the planet feel beautiful? So that is not great statistic for the beauty industry, and we can be the leaders, we can be the example for other industries and even within our own industry. And the solutions are just a mindset shift and switching your routines that you have now. It can certainly feel intimidating, but if you just start with one thing, you do your trash audit and you see what you have the most and how you can make changes more sustainably one by one, as you run out of something and find a new way to make that a more sustainable option. It's totally doable. It's a journey. You don't have to do it overnight. And I really want to applaud you, Sarah and Sal, for the great work you guys are doing. And I just love being able to connect with you guys.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's been great meeting you guys too.
Yeah, a lot of insights and information to chew on from this episode today. I think one saying is the best time to take some kind of actions to help improve your sustainability, your environmental impact. The best time was yesterday, but the second best time is today. And I think we've learned in today's episode that there's so many little things, that you can do, that each of us can do. And it's not about having to, do all of it, as Melissa just alluded to. We can start with little actions that cumulatively, right, as an industry together, can have a huge impact together. So if you're listening to this and connected with, something that was said, please do our industry a favor and not only start to maybe take some actions yourself, but share this episode with at least one other salon professional. This is about spreading the word, spreading the message, the desire, and we need to keep having, conversations and sharing these together as a beauty community. Melissa, Sal, Sarah, thank you so much for being on the show, for sharing with us today, starting our own little community here. You're all leaders, clearly, and your actions, and influence obviously stems well beyond just the beauty industry, right? We're now impacting the planet as a whole through your actions. So big congratulations to each of you for what you do. We will include contact information in the episode notes for each of the three, salon owners with us today. So if anyone listening wants to follow up with somebody directly with, maybe some questions, you can reach out to them through, social media. We'll provide that. You want to check out their websites to see what they're doing, we'll provide you with that. I think it's a great way for us to kind of, make sure that we are learning from each other and building, like we said, that community of action-oriented people. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to them, to us. We're here to support the industry everywhere we can. Again, thank you all for listening. And let's go get our green on today.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all for listening.